It's Emmett from Blindside Sports alongside Alex Teichert. The Gremlins took over my computer again. I don't even know. Alex was going on a whole rant. If it
And
didn't
nobody got
play,
to
you were
see
just
it.
practicing. Yeah.
That's
At Alex
crazy.
_Teichert on Twitter, Tank _top on Instagram. We were talking about health before the Gremlins got us here.
Yes.
Sound like Ben Maller, the Gremlins. Okay, this is gonna be two parts.
No,
Cool.
no worries. I have no
Cool.
problem.
I'll clip the other part and post it on the TikTok.
Sure.
But yeah, so we were talking about health. Now
Yes.
you were I think it cut off when you were talking about when you were a vegan. You stopped at the 4th of July.
Yes.
You were off the vegan kick. You had ribs at a family friend's house. So
Yes. Yes.
how we were talking about how often you have it, how often you cheat, and it really
Ah.
depends on the situation, right?
Yes. Yes. It's very
Um,
much so like I stay consistent with my diet regimen. It's not as extreme as it was before. Like if I see something I want to eat and it has a little bit of milk, I'm not tripping. If it has a little bit of butter, I'm not tripping. Like that's why the veganism thing was too extreme, is because they make it to like a religious aspect. And anything that says an extremism, Emmett, you got to be careful. Like just take a breath. You know, it's
yeah, for
not
real.
supposed to
I
be
feel
that
that.
serious. Yeah.
You're right, for sure. Can't disagree there. So
Sure.
I heard something, a pro tip from somebody. Shout out Shay.
Yes.
When you don't eat, or when you don't work out, excuse me, you put salt. You just put salt on your tongue or something and drink water.
Yes. Okay. So that's a fun one. So I've come into like a very interesting place now with health. And so fitness is a big part for me because I truly believe that if you're not somebody who is very fit or takes care of your body, your mind and capacity of what its functionality is lowered and hampered because there's a three things. So just like a lot of people do in Emmett within religious aspects, they pray to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, right? The same thing comes to you in your body with the mind, body, and soul. There's three attributes that are of importance here. So, for your body to thrive, your mindset has to be elevated. And for your mind to elevate, your body has to be able to thrive, which is why I love working out so much. It's not only helped me amplify my own self, but being more aware of myself, reality, consciousness, and the perspective of who I am. And plus, of course, Emmett, the confidence that comes with it and just being more centered and present, it's a good attribute. Your body's meant to be in motion. So that's why I love
Yes.
working out. So that fun trick that he's telling you about is I've come to this new thing now, Emmett, where if I don't work out in a day, I do not eat any food. I've come to a spot now where I'll actually fast
Intermittent
more
fasting.
regularly.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'll do more fasting now because I know Big Ben's a fan of it too, which is great.
I
The
think you put Eddie
body,
on too.
yes, yes. The body needs to earn its food. And so if the body is not earning its food, it's not using the nutrients that you are giving it. So I've came to a place now where if I'm not going to be working out in a day, there's no need to eat food. I'll just do water and I add the Celtic sea salt.
How much
It's one
water
of
do you
my
drink a
favorite
day?
things. Ooh, I'd say definitely a gallon at least.
Man, I've tried that before. And you can definitely tell the difference. Like even in
Yes.
your skin's so much like no acne, no zits. I mean, when you drink a
Yes.
gallon.
Because
I mean,
think
also
about it
not
too,
doing that
Emmett.
now, but
Yeah, right. But think about it though, Emmett. It's true because water itself is the essence of cleanse. Like it's to clean. Think of anything you clean with. It's based in some kind of water. You wash your clothes, water. You wash yourself, water. Water is a cleanser. So when you use it on a high level like that, you're able to filter your liver, your kidneys. Everything is able to clean itself more because of what's in it. So that's why I've spent so much time looking into water. And I personally love alkaline water. So things that are spring water, those have a lot of nutrients in it. So that's why I put Shay onto this thing where I said, if you're ever feeling dehydrated, if you're ever feeling like a headache coming or anything where you think your body needs to get quick hydration, you put some of that Celtic sea salt on the top of your tongue. The mucous membranes instantly takes in the sodium and it tells your cells it's time to hydrate. So that's why, Emmett, I'm going to put you on game. This is going to help you and save a lot of people. In summertime, Emmett, if it gets really hot, you need to put at least 1 teaspoon inside water, like a big gallon of water, and drink that throughout the day. Your body will stay hydrated. You will never get whatever it's
Where
called.
Where do you get this online or?
Yeah, so I just go to Amazon. Amazon runs the world now, you know? So all you have to do is you just go to Amazon and type in Celtic sea salt. And it's a big blue bag. And you just need to put either a pinch on your tongue before you drink water. Or again, if you're going to do like a giant gallon, make sure you put a teaspoon at least to 2 and drink that. It's one of the best things for you.
There you go. I mean, in the mind of a health expert. Now, I honestly don't think the first part of that say. So we'll come back to that in a while.
Sure.
But on this workout thing here, Alex, what like just to kind of put it into perspective here, what do you recommend for a good gym regimen?
Got you. That's a great question. So it really comes down to what your objective is, right? So a lot of
Let's
people have told
say
me,
bulking,
okay, perfect.
for
So if
example.
you're trying to get bigger, the best thing for that is strength training. So strength training is trying to basically tear your muscles and to increase the volume of how much you can push, press, pull, anything within the weight regimen, right? So when you're
Yeah.
doing workouts, let's just use a chest day, for example, and you want to work out your chest. When you go to do a chest day, you have two different kind of things you can use. You can use barbells or dumbbells, which are like freehand weights or more of the things that are set in stone, like on an actual bar itself, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So what you do with strength training is you want to focus on hitting between 6 and 8 reps. 7 is the magic number. If you can do 7,
Lucky
no
7.
more. Yeah. If you can do 7 reps, no more, no less, that is the perfect weight to stay at least a week to 2 weeks. Then you'll notice you can start to do more. So as soon as you go over 7, you're doing 8 or more, you up the weight by at least 5 to 10 pounds. And you constantly do this slowly. And within a few months, Emmett, you're going to be surprising yourself not only how much bigger you're getting, but how much more weight you're pushing too.
Oh, wow. All right. So I'm asking that for, everybody here. Now, what about
Sure.
somebody who, is maybe trying to drop a couple pounds? What do you recommend, for the, obviously, you're saying drink a lot of water. That's it.
Yes.
Watch what you're intaking, whatever. So what about, in the gym? Because exercise is key. And I saw the reel you post on your story earlier, how, it's true. I don't really watch like what I'm eating most of the time, but like when I work out like consistently, I feel a big difference in all that. So like if someone who's just trying to either maintain or lose some pounds, what do you recommend for that?
Perfect.
Just
eat less.
Keep their perfect weight. All right.
Eat less.
What about the gym? Cardio?
Perfect. Eat less and do high velocity workouts, which means high active workouts. Still lifting weights, because cardio is an urban myth I'm realizing now, Emmett. Cardio is not a good thing to do for the body because it's basically just using what you have ingested as nutrients rather than using it to burn off fat. So for example, if you're lifting weights and doing a high velocity workout, which is like supersets, so say you're doing 2 workouts back to back and not a lot of rest
I know.
time.
So for example, like you do like 10 like lighter reps. Let's say like 10 to 12 reps of bench press, and you do like a certain amount of time for planks. Yes.
Exactly. So when you're doing this and you're using less rest time, lower weights, higher reps, your now heart rate is bumping so fast to keep up with everything that's going. It's going to consistently not only keep beating at a high velocity after your workout, but it's going to constantly burn fat because if you're eating less, it needs some kind of source of fuel. So it's going to suck fat off of you instantly. As you're also going to see more definition, you're going to feel better, as you said. And it's true, my guy. Like people don't realize working out is key because it's not just to look good. Like the whole Arnold Schwarzenegger thing, like, you want to look good for babies. I want to flex in front of the screen, like that stuff is cool. Trust me, it's nice to look good, but to feel good, Emmett, that's a different world entirely. Because trust me when I say this, man, you and I, when we're feeling great, we wake up in the morning and we want like 99 different things, right? But what happens when you feel sick? You just want one thing, to feel better.
Bed.
So that's the goal. You just want to make it to where you're in a position to feel great and to thrive. That's why exercise is so important. And so people don't realize like what Big Ben did. He simply just did intermittent fasting and lost over 100 pounds, Emmett, just by eating less.
Crazy.
That's how crazy it is.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, and Ben's a big water guy too, as you were saying.
Yes.
And he said it before too. So obviously the water is a part of it now. Like what's your kind of goals right now for working out? What are you doing? You trying to bulk? You trying to lose?
Great question. So my biggest thing right now, Emmett, is I'm chasing the Bruce Lee body. I am going to look and feel at my pinnacle in every attribute, from a mental focus to not only my overall physical focus. And I want to challenge my body. So a big thing I've been doing more now is, like I told you, is earning my food. So this is a new thing I just started. I've only done it one time so far, is where if I don't work out, I do not eat food, to start increasing the fasting elements, to start pushing more of the growth hormone that your body naturally produces. So that's another big thing. So for myself, it's to sustain not only the strength I have, but to slowly increase it more by testing my body. So I'm the kind of guy where every 3 months, Emmett, I'm switching my workouts entirely. So instead of like pushing heavy weight, I'm going to lower weight and I'm slowing the reps going down. Like I'm counting to 5 doing negative presses. Like I'm just constantly testing my body to see what is the next best thing. How can I try to find a way to be better and to test the bounds of what is normal weightlifting, right? Because we've all seen the big guy puts 3 plates on, does 1/2 rep, and he's like, oh, it's like
I was at the gym a couple weeks ago, and there's this dude. Me and my friend were on bench, and there's this guy over, probably a couple rows over on the bench press, and this is at Planet, so there's a bunch of them, and he's probably pushing like 400 pounds on there, according to my friend. It was like a bunch of plates, and all he was. Oh
yes, dude, it's so much, dude. It's so much. It's not needed. It's just to get yourself psyched up. And trust me, again, that's a whole lifestyle. Right. It's a whole lifestyle. And if it works for you, my guy, I'm all about it. But you don't need to be the guy pushing 4 plates to look good. You don't need to be the guy pushing 4 plates to feel good.
And all that, I feel like they do help. It might be psychological.
So it's a kind of thing, like you're saying, it's a mental thing. So for example, like when I was taking karate for a lot of my younger years into kickboxing, they tell you to release. So when you hit something, like the Bruce Lee thing is, you go, tss, you're letting out that extra flinch of all the air within inside of you to push a little bit more. So it is a thing. They just don't need to be yelling that loud, is what I'm saying. I mean, like you can release air, but you don't need to yell.
If you're at your house, okay, but like in a public setting, like come on, dude.
I don't go outside naked. Yeah, like, it's a public setting. I'm going to put clothes on. It's the same thing. If I'm lifting in a gym, I don't think people want to hear me yell. Just saying.
No. Yeah, the gym's so quiet. I mean, it's just you would just hear the music and then people like groaning. It's kind of weird.
It is. It's funny if you don't wear headphones, because then you hear the world around you and you're like, this place is kind of weird.
I just put my AirPods in. I'll put on the noise canceling if I'm really in my zone. It's
smart.
Just like,
yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you,
AirPods Pro with those
these noise canceling things are so crazy. I put them on now. Like I have these Beats one, and I go into my workout. There could be a world happening behind me, like a tsunami could take out half the building, and I'm still halfway through my set because I can't hear anything.
These headphones do have noise canceling too, and I've heard people knock on my door before.
Right? Isn't it crazy?
It's something else. I mean, you have to wonder, like, really how good is it for your hearing? But like,
right?
It's so
no,
awesome
it's a great question. Yeah.
But I think also what it really is because like obviously you got these safety headphones like when you're working manual labor jobs.
Yes.
So I think it's really like how loud you listen to your stuff, because either way it's still going to be noise canceling if you got a good pair of headphones. I think the volume's what's really key to that. Emmett Douglas, Alex Teichert here. I know this is a very late night show, so if you're checking this out later, you can hit us up on Twitter. I'll put it in the comments in the description after the show. Now the Gremlins absolutely screwed our episode. How dare them? So but we're on this working out thing now. Why don't we backtrack here?
Sure.
But we're kind of backtracking and staying in this working out topic. Now we've mentioned Shea Moengard a lot during this episode. Now he was telling me he's worked out with you before, and
yes.
And I've heard, from people, sources, people I talk to at FSR that you've put on a lot of people to working out over there. Who have you put on?
I've changed the game, dude. Like it's wild. So when I tell you, I started there, nobody was working out besides I think Gascon at the time and Tom. The people
Gascon's that dude's from everything I've heard, he's built.
He is a brick, is what I'll say. The people that I've
take
converted,
down two breakfast burritos in one shift,
dude.
apparently.
Dude, that's a warm-up for the guy. The craziest thing is, like, the people I've converted to the glorious house of gains is Ethan Miller, which I'm sure you've talked to as well, Cheyenne himself, Lee DeLapp IV, the great Lee. I've gotten him into the gym so many times when I first was on a different schedule with him. I don't know if he's consistent now, but I used to work out with him a lot. I'm trying to think if there was anybody else at FSR. That might be the main three. Nah, Rob G's too cool for me. He's got a wife and kids now. He won't make the time. He's too cool. We work out in the studio sometime. That's about it.
Rob G hitting the push-ups on the ground.
Mm-hmm. He was on a kick for a while, man. He was really doing like the cycling bikes and stuff. He was really on a kick.
Let's see. Have you worked out with... Ethan Miller's posted about working out with you, so I know that.
Dude, I've gotten him a big chest. He cracks me up now. He sent us a video the other day where his lady was playing with their puppy, and he just walks out of the room without his shirt, and he's like, "Look, I'm not even flexing." It was so funny.
That's great.
And he didn't even know she was recording. It was so funny. It's cool to know that I made him feel so confident, man. I love it.
I mean, that is true confidence. So I know you did your job right. I mean,
Yes.
random question here. Have you ever thought like personal trainer? Have you ever thought that route, like on the
So
side?
I have, because that's one of those things where I feel like I have a lot to offer in the sense of what I can do for people. And I would be a different personal trainer where I would work out with you. I wouldn't be the guy that's just standing there telling you what to do. We would be working out together, because I think it's a weird mantra where I'm just standing there watching you, critiquing you. I'm not your coach. I'm
No,
doing it
yeah,
with you. Like you're basically, if you're going to be under like my Kratel or like my training course, I'm going to take you through what I do because I know it works. And I'm going to show you and lift with you, because not only does it give you somebody to lift with, which a lot of people need, Emmett, I've realized,
yes.
it's hard for some people to go alone. And I
And
understand
most
that.
people learn by sight too.
Yes. And
Just
see,
watching
that's,
and like
yeah.
repetition. That's what teaches them.
And that's what's crazy though, Emmett. Like, no shade to Shy or Ethan or Lee. I love working out solo personally because I put my headphones on, I'm in my zone, and I know what I'm doing.
No,
So I
yeah.
get my stuff
So
done.
I usually, when I work out, like, it's probably like, we do this, we haven't been like on a set schedule because I've been on vacation and, all that. Just by like my
Sure.
workout partner, we, like what we'll do is we'll spot each other for like the bench press and all that. But like, other than that, like, all planets are laid out the same, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
over on like the arm side of things, it's like the triceps and biceps.
Yes.
We go on our
Yes.
own and just put our headphones in and get it done with,
I love
just,
that.
Yeah, it's what you gotta do. I feel like focusing on the other people. I mean, you were saying this on Fifth Hour and a couple other shows how like the people watching at the gym is great. But I feel like
dude.
I don't know. I mean,
it's fun to an extent because it can't be the focal point of why you're there. So, for example, I mean, like if I go to Disneyland now, I'm there to people watch. Like that is the best place to see some people in the world. But at the gym, though, like I'm there for a purpose. Like I'm only going to be there for a short amount of time because our days are so busy as it is, right? And I commute to work. So like my days, Emmett, from Monday to Friday, they're 12-hour days, like from when I leave my house to when I get home. So there isn't much free time in between. So when I'm at the gym, not only is that a moment that I'm by myself doing something to benefit myself to something that's going to be to better the world, I love doing it because it's a moment where I'm alone. And so that's why I cherish that time, because in radio, I'm around people. At the house, I'm around people. When we're driving, we're around people. But even in that moment where I'm around people, Emmett, it's a moment where I'm still by myself. It's really cool. Like you can really zone in.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, having the friend there is good for motivation and all that. I understand why you would like the solo and all that. But
I'm just at that place because I've worked out for so long.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. I mean, to like learn like workouts, it's pretty. You just gotta kind of listen to people. Get different opinions. And there's a lot of crap opinions going out too that like you have to double check. Like take the TikTok stuff. Yes. We'll get into TikTok later. We're talking about that before the show. Now, Emmett Douglas, Alex Teichert here, Blindside Sports. Now, before the Gremlins screwed us, we were talking some how you got hired at FSR, and Nick Wright, who's like he does a bunch of shows over here. He comes and rants about his Chargers and his Lakers, and Shohei is so Nick's great. Nick's awesome, man. I mean, he's out in Chicago right now, living it up.
Yes,
I mean, he's loving it out there. So
that's good to hear.
Yeah. He's hit up, I think, Cubs. I always get the Cubs and the White Sox confused.
Right.
So dive into your how you got hired at FSR. I mean, you kind of take us behind the scenes and how it all happened.
Sure. So the crazy thing about that was it all happened because Nick Wright, because I was starting to find out exactly what I wanted to do in life and where I was trying to go. So since I was working at In-N-Out at the time and I got inspired through an ad that came on the radio, I decided to chase the career more because I was somebody who loved talking. I was somebody who loved to be engaging with people. And too many people in my life started telling me that my voice was so soothing, they wanted to hear what I have to say. And that's a powerful gift to have, Emmett, is because when people want to hear what you have to say, there is a multitude of ways that can go. You can take advantage of people. You can manipulate people, or you can better. I'm just being honest with you. Like it's a powerful gift to have, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, look through history. There's so many great speakers, and you've seen what they've done with it. So I found out in myself, I wanted to do something with it. And so right now, it's been a low level. It's been helping people around me. It's been building a little bit of a brand for myself, like the anime side. And I noticed really quickly, as you mentioned, Emmett, with TikTok, as soon as I started doing stuff with that for the anime side, it blew up. I was getting millions of views on my videos because of what I was doing with them. I was doing
what's
something.
Your TikTok?
It's Anime Senpai Podcast. All one word. Anime Senpai Podcast. I appreciate you, man. And what's really cool about that is I wanted to do something different. which was combining everything I've been taking from the sports element, which is the opinionated driven radio talk, being entertaining, being fun, but finding a way to put my own niche into it where I was trying to talk about things that are engaging, opinionally driven, but motivates you to be inspired to think for yourself as well. And that's why I love anime. It is still in this day, Emmett, but I know it's getting more popular, so it will change. It's one of the most purest and innocent markets in the world. So that's why I loved
Oh
it.
yeah.
And that's why all of this thing with radio has played into it and how I got in the door. Again, from meeting Nick, getting all these opportunities, working with all these great people. That's why this is so amazing, is to know that, again, everything happens for a reason. And every person I've met has led to this occasion to where now I'm sitting with you and having fun with you as well. Like, there is no
Exactly.
yeah, like, dude, there's no coincidences. This is all meant to be. So that's why I got in the door, man. Was all Nick Wright.
Yeah, if that other part of the show never resurfaces, to put in a summary, I'll put in a summary real quick.
Sure.
Alex got he was in a car driving to work, in and out. He was always an aux cord guy, no aux cord that day, so he had to turn on the radio, the good old fashioned radio, and ad came on, was like, "Do you belong on the radio?"
Yeah, it was like that.
And it spoke to him. So he went and applied at a radio school, met Nick Wright.
Yes.
And Nick was like, "I know you're not a sports guy, but FSR needs a part-time technical producer or technical director," as Arnie would say.
Right.
It makes you sound fancy. I'd take the compliment.
I like it too, man. Hey, because we ain't just pressing buttons, man. We're doing a lot back there.
Teichert, our technical director. Speaking of Arnie, you need to put him on. I saw a tweet yesterday, and we're gonna get into the drops convo we had too. But Arnie, man, he's had kidney stones twice. He had it a couple years ago, and it came back yesterday. And I said, "Arnie, man, you need that gallon of," like, I added Chris and Brandon, Chris Plank and Brandon Truth, producer of Chris and Arnie. I was like, "We need like a gallon of water fund for Arnie."
Absolutely.
I was like, "Arnie, you need some water, man, but get better." It's just like, Arnie, come on, kidney.
Dude, health is very simple. Yeah, health is very simple. It's not that tough to take care of yourself. It's just most people don't want to take the time. So Arnie, I know he's an old school guy. He's like, "I just want my pizza McFly. I just want to give me a double McFly.
Give me a McChicken."
Yeah, dude, I know him. Can you believe the McDonald's closes at 10 p.m. out here? Hey.
My show gets off at 2 a.m., Chris. This is unacceptable.
Yep, I'm telling you. But yeah, so if you do, like you did say, if the first part never resurfaced, it's crazy how that all happened. Working at In-N-Out, I got engaged through an ad, went to see the school, met Nick Wright, and then I'm here in FSR. And I've been engaging with so many different shows and people. It's one of the most exciting times of my life because I'm seeing people at the pinnacle of their careers, them chasing something in a radio aspect, in a sports setting. That is the highest you technically could go, is to be a national radio host. And it's so cool to see how their engagement is and how they treat themselves, how they treat their coworkers, how they treat their shows. And so I'm just beyond blessed to be in this situation because I know the next thing that I'm heading towards, whatever the chapter may be, this was a big pivotal part in refining it. So I love it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you summed it up great there. He's Alex Teichert. I'm Emmett Douglas. If you're enjoying the show, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment, turn on the notifications for hot interviews with sports people in the media, for very piping hot sports takes, whatever you like. I sometimes will be doing solo episodes. Me and Nick Wright coming to talk sports. We have fun over here on Blindside Sports. This is a very different episode because it's 1:21 in the morning right now. It's definitely the latest we've done a show. I feel like Ben Maller right now.
That's what I said. I even put that tweet out. I was like, he's not the only one doing marginal entertainment tonight.
Oh yeah, I think the latest I did a show, and it wasn't even live. This is back when I did Zoom. Was with Harmon. But that was like latest guest. It was after Jay. After he got done with Jay, that show.
Got you. Yeah, well, I appreciate you staying up late.
I've done it. Yeah, no problem. I've done a show later, but by myself, and it was before I even had this channel. It was on another channel. Wasn't very good of quality, I won't give it out. If you know, you know.
Oh, it's okay. See, but that's the best part, is it's your progression. It's your growth. The start is what made you. So embrace it. It's all fun.
Exactly. Maybe we'll react to it for a video one day. That'd be kind of
that'd be great.
So we're, before this stream got RIP'd, the Gremlins got us. But before we were talking about drops, and Rob Parker is the drop. He's a drop king, right? I'm a woman. Dude. So, what's your favorite Rob drop?
Oh, dude, you just put a quarter in and twist and see what comes out. Like that guy is literally just a booth of knowledge. It's my favorite thing by this guy, as you said, the woman one. I don't even know why he even
What
said it.
Jesus, hold up.
Dude, it just came out to like the top of the hour segment. I don't even know what we were talking about context wise, but he just yells out as soon as it hits the "We are Fox Sports. I'm a woman," and it's like, Rob, what are you doing?
Stick and stay,
dude. I'm telling you, he is a
Tom
guy.
Brady is the low.
Oh, dude.
Of all time, Chris
Dude, the
Broussard.
fafote, all this stuff. He is literally the most fun person in FSR that I've ever had to either make like,
I have a glizzy in my
interpretations of or
mouth.
anything. Dude, oh my god, this guy. He is oh god, he is
funny
so
part
fun.
about that too is it was completely set up by this man, Alex Teichert. He had no idea.
He had none.
Even Chris Broussard knew. Like you could tell Chris definitely knew what was up. He was like, "That's a drop."
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. And what's
I don't know
crazy
how
is like
the guy who's at the church on the Sunday morning compared to the guy who's at the pole that knows what a glizzy is. But hey,
dude, I'm telling you, it's wild. Like the fact Rob Parker used that line forever is going to be my favorite drop to use.
oh god, I ain't paying for that.
Oh,
I mean,
dude, this story with Steve DeSager, so good.
I've
so
actually had DeSager on.
I have no. Okay, so here's a fun question: did Steve use a camera or no camera?
No, I genuinely was like, Steve, I know you're private. Is your camera
yes,
off?
okay. I was curious. I wanted to know if Steve came out and bedazzled.
Well, I told so it happened. I was texting Chris over on Discord, and I was like, "Hey, man, could you help me get Steve on the show? I don't care if he has his camera on or off, but because obviously my show is live on YouTube, and if he heard YouTube, he'd probably think camera. So I was like, just tell that to him. And he goes into work, and maybe I don't know what day it was, but I think it was a weekend or something. It was weekend shift, and he texts me back with Steve's email. So I hit him up, and
awesome.
I relayed the message again, and he's like, "For sure, I'll come on." And yeah, Steve's very, very professional, very great.
I have no doubt. He's one of the most professional people in radio.
Ivo is awesome. Ivo's one of my favorite update anchors, and shout out B-Fin too.
B-Fin, yeah, shout out to B-Fin.
Monty, Kevin Figures.
Yes. So this is a fun one then for you. Out of everybody at FSR you've had on this show, who has been your favorite?
Oh, that's a hard one. Okay.
Who's been the best guest you've had? Who have you enjoyed?
So in terms of most meaningful guests, I'll give this to I'll give you two answers here. Most meaningful was Jonas and Ben. Those two for sure. I've had Jonas on twice. Me, Jonas, and Nick did a show a couple months ago.
That's so dope.
Season. That was great. Ben was really fun. Ben always has good stories. In terms of I'll give you top 5 favorite episodes. Obviously, Ben and Jonas don't count; those are kind of the number ones.
Sure.
Let's see. I'd probably have to go not a particular order, but some that come to mind are honest. I mean, you may call it recency bias, but Shay was, and everyone there hasn't really been an interview where I actually don't like it.
That's
everything
good to
I've
hear.
done, everyone turns out good. You're radio guys, you're not awkward. Shay's been cool. Right. Honestly, Isaac Lowenkron was fun. B-Fen was my first ever interview, so that's kind of nostalgia.
No kidding.
Ethan Miller was great. Ethan's an awesome dude.
Wow.
We could have gone all day, but it just we had to get off. He had to work an overnight shift later, so
right.
Ethan's great. Ricky and Brandon are always fun. Perfect. Those guys are all great. VJ Husky really brought the heat. We went on for 3 hours.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah, Martin and VJ. Yeah, everyone it's always cool, learning these things about people too. Learning, about Shay and how he I knew he's kind of learned he's an intern and he did.
Yeah, he interned with me.
Yeah, you and Frost. And we were talking about drops and obviously we hear the common ones, right? Here, on Fox Sports Radio, we hear the common ones. We hear I have a glizzy in my mouth. I'm a woman. Wow.
Right.
So the one, there's some in the system that there might be some we don't even know about. What's your favorite low key, if we go in the music world here, underground drop?
There's a lot of stuff I have saved in my vault, and most of those will never hear the air because that's how much I love them. One of them that's probably the most interesting one for a personal reason that I loved is I'm trying to remember his name now. I think he was in Sinbad. I think it's his name, right? Sinbad, the actor. We had him on The Odd Couple before. Yes. So he was with Chris and Rob, and I believe his full name is Sinbad. And there was this whole thing around him of him being in a movie that he has never been in before. That was called like Shazam. And so there was like this whole Mandela effect about it where people were like saying like, oh, I remember that movie when I was a kid. And people were like, that movie's never existed. It's never been there. So I got in Chris's ear and I was like, Chris, for me, you have to ask him if Shazam ever was a thing. So it was literally on the way out before he was about to send it, like to send him on his way and go to a trending.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, my producer's in my ear. And he's like, basically, I got to ask you, there's this movie called Shazam that people said they've seen, but it never existed. What happened? Like, were you in it? And so he literally pauses and he says, didn't happen in this reality. I was like, my God, you just be making more rumors now. And I loved it because his answer was like so cryptic. And I was like, my guy, perfect. That's one of my favorite things I have. One of my favorite ones.
That's great. Do you have any like really out of context, like the host or the producers that you're waiting for the perfect time to drop?
See, that's a fun one because again, the index is so long. Oh, I couldn't even give you one off the top of my head. There's so many that are just sitting in there.
Gotta love it. So before we got lagged out here, you're telling a story about a guest on JT and Looney, and he one of your craziest moments working in radio. Hit that story.
Oh man, dude. So you never know what to expect. It's live radio. There's a delay, but the delay can only save you so much. So I was basically trying to figure out what were we supposed to do in this situation. So you were asking me what's been like some of the craziest moments in radio. And this one time on JT the Brick Show with Tom Looney, there was this guest we had. And so the craziest thing about this guest is when you set up a guest, you have to intro them with whatever they're promoting or whatever they've been, their criteria, their index, whether they're an ex-athlete or a team owner, whatever. So this guy basically we think was a book writer. And so he was trying to promote his book. And so I remember he came onto the show and JT was doing this illustrious setup, giving his criteria, his insight, his backstory, his credentials, et cetera, et cetera. This beautiful setup, right? So Lauren pods him up. They go to him. He sets up this whole perfect question about the book and his writing about covering this team, all this. And then the guy is supposed to give an answer. And he pauses. And when he pauses, he just comes back with, yeah, it was fun. And so they're like, oh, okay, this guy's going to be a terrible interviewer, which sometimes happens with athletes, right? So he sets up another question,
like
goes
Marshawn
into this.
But Marshawn's like he's terrible, but he's a soundbite at the same time.
Oh, dog, yeah. It's like he's lucky that he's a soundbite, or else it would just be a bad time, And there's been some athletes who just don't want to conversate. And so they set up again this whole second question. They set him all up, and he pauses again, and then his answer is word for word, fuck you. So we're like, okay, let's dump that. Great. Let's kick this guy off. And Tom Looney is losing it. He's laughing so hard because he can't believe what just happened. We got bamboozled by a random guy that Lauren incorrectly called, and he stayed throughout the entirety of all that just to cuss on air. Genius.
That's great. That
One of the most genius ones.
You think he heard of the JT and Looney show before?
Probably had no idea, but he was just having fun.
He's
no idea.
And yeah. And one of my like funny things too, like that I remember, Fox Sports Radio, and I saw the video later. I didn't hear this live. Was Mark Willard and Rob Parker. They had Rick Barry on, and the argument was over LeBron. I'm pretty sure, and Rob's like starting to rip this guy, and then it comes down to, can you guys hang up on him? I mean, this is embarrassing. And then Rick Barry fired back out. Have you heard the clip before? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I remember that one.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Rob, that's one of my favorite Rob moments.
Rob has a fun time, dude. He'll stand strong on his beliefs, which is really funny.
Have you been in, and I think it's fill-ins when he mainly does this, but have you been in when he quits for a segment?
Yes, I have. That's like where he'll talk to a certain person. He's just like, nope, I'm good. I'm not doing it. I remember, I think it was with, who was it with? I think it was Ephraim Salaam one time. Yeah, Bucky that's the one. It was Bucky Brooks. You're right.
No, I remember calling in. And Rob G was out this day. It was a fill-in guy. And Bucky Brooks was supposed to be on the show. And I think I love Bucky, but I think Bucky flaked. Because he wasn't there. Like, and the guy was trying to get him. And I was like, is he scared of Rob? Like, I was like, why do they hate each other?
Sometimes you duck, man. Sometimes you got to duck.
Yeah, right. He's like, I don't want to talk to Rob Parker.
Yeah. You know what's funny is one time on the Odd Couple too, we had a caller just in one of those caller segments, and this guy was just doing this riff about something, and then he just mid stops in between. He's like, "Oh fuck, I'm about to hit a deer." we totally had to drop it and get him off air. We're like, "Oh, he's all right."
on Trash Talk and Tuesday today, what when Sean in Sacramento, shouts out to Sean. Sean's great.
Yes.
He always promotes the show, so you gotta love Sean. What was
He's a
he?
good
What
guy.
that guy say that he was talking about getting clout and you had to dump?
Oh, so he just like this random guy keeps calling and making these weird jokes and analysis or like references to Scottie Pippen. And so he was saying something about Scottie Pippen's wife and Rob Parker. And I was like, yeah, we'll just dump that. Like this guy's just
Yeah.
making up some dumb crap. So we just dumped him because it's like it has no relevance to anything we're
Was it-
saying. So it's
So do you ever listen to like Cavino and Rach on the way in, or while you're waiting to get on?
so it's usually the time where I'm like driving in or getting done with a workout or making a smoothie. So I never really get to listen, but I talk to them all the time because they always come out and say what's up.
Did you hear about what happened to Ramos the other day with the caller?
No.
So this random guy calls into the show and he's like, I have a love-hate relationship with John Ramos. And
Oh, wow.
But you know what I've heard? That his wife demands him to be Sir Ramos in the bedroom.
Oh, wow.
Ramos is like, great call screening, Danny G.
Throw the shade. I love it.
Oh, yeah. I've been weirded out, too. I mean, like a random caller from like Tomas in Florida or something.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Thomas. I appreciate you.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we were talking about crazy moments in radio. Do you have anything else?
Yes.
I mean,
man, crazy moments in radio. Well, radio itself is crazy because it's all off the fly, basically.
There's two parts to this question. That Weeda Labs told me a crazy story about Ralph on here. It's gross. If you know, you know. I mean, I could tell it again. I can relay it from Lee. But
who's this one with? You said
Weeda Lab told me this about Ralph Irvin involving a kidney stone.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're good. What happened to John Ramos too? I remember he passed out in the bathroom from a kidney stone.
Yeah, I think he somebody told. It was Lee told me that too. Lee told me a lot about. We had a whole like kidney stone thing.
I can tell.
Oh man, it was great. But yeah, I know. Didn't Jay have some too? Like right before the show.
I have no doubt. Yeah, I have no doubt.
Yeah, Jay got the kidney stones too. But yeah, so other like it could be like off the air. Like, have you had anything like crazy going while you're trying to run the board and like multitask or whatever? Like anything crazy behind the scenes?
Man, so crazy is an interesting question because
or wild. Life. I mean, you could say out of like whatever the word is.
Out of pocket. That's funny. Yeah. Well, that's what's funny about it too is that the whole world on the tech side, anything can go wrong at any moment. Like you can lose internet, you can lose service, you can lose power. So you're always kind of on the fly and trying to find a way to keep the show afloat or to not have dead air, right? So from that aspect, there's always been crazy moments where either the show's gone completely, the host's internet drops out, who knows what. So there's always something like that. But the only thing that's like crazy off air is just sometimes people's emotions can get like hot on certain situations and stuff, but nothing that stands out like from a certain moment. Like I'm trying to think of a crazy moment for you. I'll think as you're going.
Rob Parker quitting the show is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's like the ones I can think of. Yeah, that's like one of the ones I can think of.
I think it was Mark or something in, but yeah, he did.
Oh, poor Mark. Mark doesn't deserve that. It might have been
Sam. It was one of them. It was like a month ago.
But see, that's like where I said where emotions get too hot. And it's like, you guys got to remember, it's just sports. Like, come on, we're just talking sports. No need to get that high.
Busy. You always interrupt me. That a couple like a year or two ago.
Yeah. But she's not wrong. Sometimes Chris likes to talk. He's not wrong.
What's my favorite part about it? Is he'll come back the next segment, like, and it's always like the first segment, like right before callers. That's where I noticed it. He'll come back. Let's go to Sean in Sacramento. Sean, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah,
what's happening?
So
like
hurt.
Nothing's
so hurt. Yeah.
But he like you can tell like he's like more like monotone, but you can tell like he's playing it off like nothing happened.
You have to.
Segment.
The show's got to go on.
But then him and Chris are tight like right after that. It's so he's good at it. He's great.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, I still like the show, and you shouldn't not like the show for what I'm about to say here. But maybe he does it, you need to add a little bit of entertainment to the show, Yes,
of course. I mean, or else you have the thing that happens with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. Nothing gets solved. It slowly builds up. People start to resent each other, and then you just want to do something else.
Funny thing about that is I saw the tweet. Skip's leaving FS1, and, I asked Nick, I was like, is there any beef? And he's like, no. And I was like, there has to be something because you remember the DeMar Hamlin situation when Skip had his tweet and all that. People were mad about that. And Shannon was kind of pissed. So I think that was the downfall of their relationship. They
Of
just weren't seeing
course.
eye to eye. So,
Well, I
and
mean, there's a multitude of things because if you think about it, if you disrespect somebody and you really take your position seriously, it starts to build up over time, right? And that's
yes,
not even like
yes,
talking about your own persona of how you carry yourself and view yourself. So we personally don't know on a level of like closeness how Shannon Sharp or Skip Bayless carries themselves. So I can only speak of what I've seen because I'm on the Fox lot side. I always see them doing their setup before the herd starts. They're on the same set, just on the other
hmm
side. Every time they go to break, Skip will always get up and walk away. They never sit there, they never talk, they never communicate. It's just show. It's just show. There's nothing else there. It feels like it's just the content, right? So if you
hmm
start only focusing on that and have no real relationship outside of it, and then you start to take jabs at each other and belittle each other or try to make somebody seem inferior to the other person, it starts to weigh on you, especially with a sports persona. Your identity is revolving around your credibility, right? So
yes,
if
yeah,
people start to attack that, it can weigh on you. And it takes a strong person and a strong mind to remove the ego to not let it weigh on you. So behind closed doors, we don't know. But I can tell you for a fact, there was no real relationship as a friendship there. I never saw them talking. I never saw them be cool. Skip did his own thing. Shannon was just doing the show. So you could tell
yeah,
after a while, Shannon was like, I kind of want to just go do something else with somebody who appreciates it. I can't hate on
yeah.
him for it.
Yeah, and yeah, everything has to come to an end at some point. As you were saying
Of
earlier,
course.
everything happens for a reason, and
Yes.
then that's kind of the key too with this whole undisputed thing is like, if you can't, especially in this scenario, it's like if I didn't respect you, I wouldn't have you on the show. I respect most people, like, but it like if somebody was belittling me and all that, it gets personal. You're absolutely
Yes.
right on that. I mean,
There's a level of respect you
there's
need
so
to
much you
have.
can take, and
Yes.
if and
But
obviously like Rob and Chris and you and producer Rob and whoever's on the updates, that's different because you guys seem. I can tell you guys are all friends. You guys keep up all the time.
of
Concerned about
course.
each other's well being and all that. And obviously going back to the point of you were saying, and you've worked on the show. You ran the board for Colin. You see the kind of you're like they're like your pregame.
Yes.
So you've seen how it goes behind the scenes, and that kind of puts it into perspective of
Yes.
why they're separating, and it's going to be really interesting to see who the partner is because I don't know if you can even like agree with me or disagree with me on this,
Hmm.
without your jaw being on the line, but Skip's kind of douchey.
I don't know the guy, but what from I've seen, like I said, he doesn't seem like a personable guy. I've never met him,
No,
never talked to him, but from what I've seen is he just keeps to himself. So it can make you
Alex
seem kind of
Teichert.
standoffish.
Yeah. So, uh, yeah, I mean, obviously you have to like you can play it like we were saying, you can play it off a certain amount of time. Also, you're just gonna get
Sure.
bored of it. A
Sure.
partnership, I and this could be a whole other thing. It's like you maybe like I think like this is kind of the prime example of you have to have a respect, and you do have to be friends with a partner in this situation. Not
Yes.
all the time,
Yes.
but
But
in a
see, that's the
in
key
a talk
though.
show situation, you gotta
Right.
know each other. You gotta be cool.
Well, you have to respect each other because you have to
Yes.
remember what they're doing is opinionated. And so they're going to have debates where they differ on the opinion of what
Oh
they're
yeah.
talking about. So if you don't respect the person, it's taken as a jab, like you're hitting them, you're attacking them. And that's where the thing comes into par, where it looks like good quote unquote television, but it's real too. So you can't separate it all the time because then you start to take that personal. So for myself, I can speak on this. So before I did the anime senpai stuff, I was doing another show with my buddy and we were doing
I
an
was gonna
anime
ask
stuff.
you about this.
Yeah, and it's called Weeb Nation, and it was thriving. Like we had dude, we were getting thousands of plays. It was insane how much it was growing. We went to Pittsburgh, all these places because of how well it was doing. But the same thing was happening to where my co-host was not respecting what I was doing. And
Mm,
also, I was the lead focal of the main host. I was the editor. I was the social guy doing all the social platforms. I was
yeah,
reaching out to companies.
I could tell.
I
I
was
could
doing
tell you were
all
the
this.
promoter of that show.
Yes. And what's crazy though
Had
about
that
it though
Teichert
is
touch.
yeah, and he started speaking up more. He started to be more acclimated of saying things he didn't like, wanting to be a part of more stuff to where when I was getting opportunities, he had a say about if I should do it. And it's like, dog, you're really losing the focal point of what this is about. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you is if that stuff starts to build up, it eventually deters the show. And everybody who is a loyal listener to our podcast noticed that the last 6 months to about a year was not the same.
Did
Our
anybody
chemistry was
comment on it?
different. Oh, a bunch. People were like, it just sounds like he's berating you, he's attacking you. And it's just, it turns from what it's supposed to be, which is good, fun conversation where it can get hot. It's supposed to get engaging. That's where it's fun because it makes
Yes,
people have a side to listen to. But if
for
it
sure.
turns to malice and you're just attacking to attack, oof, that's where, again, it could have gotten to a spot where Shannon was like, you know what? Like, this just isn't it, man. I'm getting stressed and I'm not trying to get stressed.
So, I'll ask you this right now, but can
Sure.
I clip the part where you were put on like the socials to, like, to promote where you were talking about what it's like seeing them behind the scenes? Am I allowed to do that, or is that
I mean, I don't know. I don't see why I wouldn't. I'm just speaking
okay? I
about
just
what I
didn't want to get
saw.
you in trouble. Some people are a little more like kind of particular on what I post and like
No,
what I
dude,
put out there.
bro.
So I
Dude,
just
if people are worried about their job, dude, like they can fire me for that. That's the case. I'm just seeing what I saw. They don't talk much.
okay,
It's not anybody
yeah,
who's there knows it. Like I'm not saying anything bad about anybody.
yeah, on God, but hey,
Yeah, dude.
hope,
You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't live in this world where we're scared of everything. See what you see and say it. It's like that's how it's supposed to be. Just speak
exactly,
honestly.
but
You know, like,
yeah,
dude.
people can handle the truth sometimes. I mean.
Well, that's why we're at, and that's why the world is so shitty at times.
Yes, exactly. Very.
It's sad,
I
man.
mean, we can go on a whole nother rant about this. We'd probably be here till 4 a.m. knowing you, but I mean, if it
Oh,
happens, it
dude,
happens.
my cap is 2:30 because I have to be up early.
No, I know. I'm saying, but if
Yes.
that's why I'm not trying to go on this rant.
No, no, I
So
get you because I'm
I will
passionate
leave
about
it.
this too, man. Yeah, I'm passionate about this.
But like, I feel like we're the most divided we've been in years, like as a
It's
country alone.
unfortunate. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate, dude. And like people have said it before, dude, and I really mean this. People have said that to be divided is a strong sense of being where the world is, right? Like that's a good sign that everybody doesn't agree. I am actually not on that par. I think everybody should agree it's not okay to hit your wife. I think we should all agree it's not okay to steal from somebody. I think we should all agree it's not
Yes.
okay to kill
There's
somebody,
certain
right?
morals
Like
you should agree with. Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Like to be this politically driven now, where nobody can see like the bigger factor of what's going on, is a scary place to be because everybody's just fighting to fight, and it trickles into your life. So, point in case, you start to think you're better than somebody because you think differently, and it's like, bro,
Yeah.
that's a bad place to be. And again, it can trickle into sports take, it can trickle into people's personalities, and you start building up so big because your persona is your identity. If somebody berates that and attacks it, you now feel like you're at a loss. And it's like,
Hmm.
dude, it shouldn't be that way. Because again, like you were talking about Rob, where Rob checks out, it's just a show. Like, don't take it to heart. It's just a show. That's all this is.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I'm glad we didn't spend the rest of the show on that because I don't think anybody cares. But I mean,
Sure.
it's really quickly, and then we'll get to another question. Emmett
Of
Douglas on
course.
Teichert here. It's like just like people like it's like people who like are like into politics, like the opposite parties. It's like they can't even work out anymore without like and not like
It's
like work out
bad.
as like be with friends. That's what I mean, not like
Dude,
physically work out, but
no, it's bad. Like I remember when I was growing up back in the Bush era and whoever else was after that, even Obama, people could still talk. Like they might not agree, but they could
I
still
think
talk.
I think it was the damn COVID.
COVID and Trump, it changed everything. And
Yeah,
I'm not,
and then
dude, and
that
I
and
mean
then
this when I say this, Emmett, I'm not political because I know it's horse shit. They're going to both lie to you and
yes,
tell you shit just to get into
exactly,
office. My
exactly,
shit that
and
pisses me off, Emmett, is the fact that nobody sees it and they think the other side is going to destroy the country without
yes,
realizing it's you. You're allowing it because you believe in this shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
and
it's crazy.
social media too, where it's so hard. And somebody tweeted about this the other day. I want to shout them out, but I don't remember who it was. But they were like, it's so hard to find right information because of Google. Like you
Yes.
can Google things now, and like all this like propaganda for Trump or for
Yes.
Biden. Like if you Google,
Yes.
like it's so hard. You got to really make sure if you're like voting and caring to vote, you gotta make sure you're like looking at the right spots. But
Right.
enough politics. I mean, it kind of wrapped into the Skip Shannon talk here, but
No, it's true because it's just. I'll tie it for you real quick. It's the focal point that people can't just be themselves anymore. There's always some objective or
yes,
bias or something
mm,
enraging it. So that's what I said. Shannon and Skip, I've never seen them talk after a segment. They just do their own thing, and that's sad. Because like if you're doing a show together, you want to be together. It's okay if you save things for on air, but you got to be buddies. You got to be friends, or else what's the point? Like you got to have
I
that chemistry.
I'm gonna be real. If I was in that situation, I don't think I could do the show.
It's
Like
hard to.
it would suck.
Emmett,
I
I
don't
pulled
think.
out from Weeb Nation because I couldn't do it anymore. It's not
Yeah,
healthy. You can't be in
no.
a bad environment. So that's why
No,
for me, for Shannon, I wish him the best, dude. I hope he finds success that way.
yeah, and it kind of, like, obviously it's not like, Skip and Shannon compared to this show is like a whole thing, but that's why I bring
Sure.
Nick back so much. Is we talk, we can get along, we can have debates, and I won't like want to like punch him in
Yes.
the face
Yes.
after the show. Like,
You guys are good together. I watched a bit of it because I wanted to see who was on your show and what the show's about. And I saw you guys. You guys do great together. I could tell Nick enjoys it too.
yeah, and it gets him kind of, he left the board up in the radio
Yes.
business,
Yes.
so
Gives him a
yeah,
place
but
to vent sports. It's great.
yeah, probably saves him and his wife lots of fighting. He's probably more happy after ranting about a blown 27-point lead.
You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what ones have you checked out? Like, what episodes have you listened to?
So I only skimmed quickly because we were talking about today. So I looked through a couple of Nick's. I looked at Finley's too. And then I just kind of saw everybody else that was in but didn't watch it. And it was really cool to see how you have a very big like a love, this fixation for the people at FSR. It's really cool, man. I enjoy that about you.
I mean, I kind of want to open it up to like other people.
You should.
I don't think I do. Like, I'm trying to get other people on the show. Like I'm trying to get maybe some like analysts on or something. But like, if I were to go like and get like an ESPN producer, ESPN radio or CBS radio, I don't think it would be as personal too.
It wouldn't be because there
And,
again, like it comes to the whole conversation we were talking about.
Yeah. Like where, and like a lot, like these guys too, like even these analysts or whatever, like I follow you on Twitter. I know you to where I can know like who you are as a, like as a person, and just from tweets. If you're out there, like I can tell your style and I can go off that. And like, some of these guys I've never really like talked to, like, I mean, the producers like E or, a BT, Brandon Trufa or Ricky, me and Ricky got pretty close when you do the overnights. Like, so I like when I call in, so
it's personable. That's why it's different.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's really cool.
Now
you know what might help you, Emmett? Don't mean to cut you off. You should think about finding a co-host. That might actually help the show with keeping like the whole segments and stuff. Like maybe throw it Nick's way. See if he'd want to do it with you, because that way you guys can keep the conversations going, more influx of the volume and stuff. So that way, eventually, when a guest does come on, it makes it more of like a highlight rather than the focal point.
Yo, that's a good idea. But I mean, Nick's on here a pretty good amount of time, but he's a busy guy too. So sometimes gotta. Sure, I had a Rob G co-hosting with me. He sat in the other day. Who else is like actually co-hosted? Jonas and Nick. That was together.
It's nice.
Me and Ethan went all over the place. Yeah. Me and Ben also, like, that was kind of like he was kind of my co-host for that show.
That's cool,
it wasn't
man.
just a story; it was just sports and life and whatever came up. And Emmett Douglas alongside is Alex Teichert. You can get him on Twitter at Alex_Teichert. You can get him on Instagram at Tank_Top. You can see a picture of him, living it up in Pennsylvania that Chris Broussard always jokes about. Now, you were telling me in the pre-show, in the production meeting, as Ben Maller would say,
yes,
how you have a TikTok with over 120K. And I asked the question of how to get a good following on TikTok. And you brought the idea. Let's save that for the air. So now I'm going to pose that question. How, a lot of people, they have, if they got their podcast or, they're a YouTuber, whatever you are, TikTok is so, like, everybody's on it now. Like, even like people like are like, I don't know about your parents, but are your parents on there? Like, is your mom?
Thankfully, no. She's stuck to Facebook, so TikTok. I'm glad she's stuck to one platform. She doesn't need multiple right now. She does Facebook and Instagram. That's enough for her. Yeah, that's enough for her. I would like her to do less, but at least she's got that. You're right. TikTok goes anywhere from 10 years old up to like 50, 60, 70 years old, it feels like.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
it is.
So the main question is that, like, I'm sure like, I'm probably gonna quit this part too, like how to blow off of TikTok and post it on TikTok. But so anyways, how would you go upon that? What are the steps of? I don't say you blew up. I mean, you could say that, but you have more followers than I do. So what are the steps of getting a consistent TikTok audience? That's the way I'll pose that.
Okay, beautiful. You started with the perfect thing: consistency. You need to post every single day, because algorithm is an AI generated program that does one job and one job only: to keep you on its platform. So you have to make sure to let it know you are serious. And so what it does is it's trying to keep both the creators and the followers on this platform. So the biggest focus you have to do is not only be consistent, you have to figure out really quickly what you wish to accomplish. So you need to find a niche, meaning you have to find something that you can do, that you will love, you can be authentic and be yourself with it, and do something not a lot of people can. Because if you find a way to put that all together, you have found the secret formula, the thing SpongeBob has been protecting forever with Mr. Krabs from Plankton, as well as everybody trying to get that magic golden ticket from Willy Wonka. I found it. It's being authentic.
There you go.
I
Yeah,
made sure to
authentic.
post every single day to talk about something I love that I could watch every single day. And I did it with making it engaging, to make it comfortable, to make you want to see what I have to say, and to make it to where we have fun listening together, whether it be something you agree or disagree with. It's the same reason why people listen to FSR, same reason why people watch Colin Cowherd, the same people that watch Skip and Shannon, whatever it may be. You have to be engaging, and you have to have a purpose of why you're posting content. Most people, and I mean this when I say this, Emmett, people do stuff just to do stuff. And guess what's going to happen? It's going to get lost with all the stuff. You want to stand out. You want to be that bookmark where people are like, what's on this page? Let me turn to it and see exactly what is here. That's what I did. I made sure that when I started my TikTok, I was going to be somebody who demanded your attention. I was going to be somebody who told you right away why I am different, because not only is my views different, but everything that I've obtained over my career of being somebody with entertainment has defined me of knowing exactly what you want as a consumer. You want to be entertained. And this is the one I can't stress enough, Emmett. Make sure you value their time, because if you don't value their time, they will not value yours.
And yeah, no, that's a very fair point. And like kind of my situation is I clip stuff from the show, but like I'm like kind of thinking, I'm like, do I just post like clips all the time, or do I like branch out and like talk about some sports, like other sports stories, or like whatever it is. I mean, because it's kind of a hard decision. It's like, because then, I mean, you can never get your opinion heard enough. I guess
sure,
that's a point too. So like, I can post like a little snippet on TikTok and then go more in depth on the show. If I have Nick, or if I'm by myself, whatever. So like that's kind of it too. And I have enough clips to where I could post and do all that. And then also too, if like, let's say like something breaks, instant reaction, like like let's say like tomorrow, like let's see, like I don't know, maybe like sometimes Aaron Rodgers. I don't know, just first thing comes to mind. Like instant reaction, and that's it too. It's like like you're saying every day. And what about hashtags?
So hashtags, I've realized you don't want to use more than 3, because the more you throw it out there, the more that you're throwing yourself out there. Like you want to make sure you're in a certain group of people. So for example, I do anime stuff, right? And I made it to where I'm consistently only doing anime on that site that I've made, or that account. So what I do is I use 3 simple ones: anime TikTok, and then I think the other one was like anime something. I just did 3 quick ones to let the algorithm know this is for anime fans, and that's where it needs to go. And that's where it thrives, because the more you put stuff like life, hashtag me, hashtag this, hashtag, you're giving it to so many places, you're spreading yourself thin. And the way that algorithm works is they're going to test you. They're going to give you to a small group of people and see how they react to it. And if it goes well, they give it to a bigger group, and then a bigger group, and then a bigger group. So you're making sure that that little group they give it to is the one it's meant for. Because God forbid, like you said, say you do an instant reaction to Aaron Rodgers snaps his ankle in the first game of the Jets, which only would be fitting for Jason Smith. Oh God, dude, I would love that as a person on the show.
Big Mac.
Oh, dude, you're getting no max. So that's why it's like, if you had that and then you put like hashtag sports, well, okay, that's good. It's a sports thing. Then you could put hashtag Aaron Rodgers. Now you're even more bracketing it towards a certain type of thing, right? Everybody who loves Aaron Rodgers. Hashtag breaking news. Like you have to find it to the certain factor of where you want it to start, right? That's why it's very important. Less is more. Remember, less is more.
Yeah,
it's a very important thing. And so like with your TikToks too, when you're talking about like finding a right way to do it, like what should I post? Should I do clips? Should I do this? It's okay to test things, have fun with it, but remember you want to be engaging. So what I would recommend for you is you want to record yourself on TikTok, because then you're making it specifically for TikTok. Everything I record is on their platform because I want it to be basically for that site. I don't like to do like a clip of something and then send it everywhere, because then it makes it kind of watered down. You know what I'm saying? Like I want people to know they only get it here. It's exclusivity, you know, like that's the thing people
Mm.
want. So try to make it to where you do something that is different and capitalizes on yourself. So again, for me, Emmett, I have a voice people like to listen to. So I engage you with it. And that's where I type in the authenticity and everything else. For yourself, find something that you can be unique about, right? Like the whole
Yeah.
thing you're using now, the Blindside Sports. Use that and
That's my
tie it into
account's
some
Blindside_sports. You can
yeah, and
on
like tie
TikTok.
that into some fun thing. Like you're like make some comedy aspects or something, right? Be like, I didn't see this coming. No, literally, I can't see this coming. You know, like have some fun with that. Like make it to where
Yeah.
it's engaging to where people are like, oh, he's actually using the fact that he is blind and he loves sports. So he's making something engaging that only he can give me. That's what you
Oh
should
yeah,
focus on.
for sure. And I mean, I use a TikTok thing more as like a show promoter than anything.
Yes,
So like,
yes,
and I do it with like the Instagram Reels. And I'll post it on Twitter because, like, truly, like they're all different audiences. But I
yes.
think TikTok is the biggest audience.
Oh, that's why
So
they're getting rid of it. They hate it. They hate how they
yeah,
get everybody and they're uncontrollable. That's why they hate TikTok.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's yeah, maybe that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother day. It's
Oh,
kind of dumb.
dude,
We
people
I
are
mean,
just dude, if
yeah.
people are
I'm trying to
not
get
seeing
to everything and like not
yeah.
make us like be up all night too. Like, which I
Sure, sure.
probably
Keep
will
going,
be
keep
from
going,
like
keep going.
winding
Yes,
down.
yes.
But yeah, it's like exactly you cut like they just when everyone's doing it, they don't like that. They don't like the
Well, especially when they
like
can't control it, because then Mark Zuckerberg can't tell you what you can and can't see, and also they can't steal your data as easily as they were. So now this other entity that they can't
yeah.
control is
Uh,
doing all this shit freely. Government don't like that. They don't like when they
mm.
can't have a hand in it.
They already got banned in was it Montana and like
They're
Minnesota or
trying
something.
to. So it's supposed to start the beginning of next year, but there's a lot of legislation being pushed back at them. So I will be very surprised if it does keep going the way it is, because it's going to be hard for them to get rid of a social platform in a quote unquote free market country. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I will be surprised if they get it to be banned. I don't think they will.
He's Alex Teichert. Get him on Twitter at Alex_Teichert. I'm Emmett Douglas at EmmettNoty04. If you're enjoying the show, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications. Now, a couple of nights ago on the Jason Smith show with Mike Harmon, Steve DeSager was filling in for Mike this night. And I got to ask you, I wasn't listening last night. I was on a
Sure.
train coming back from Oregon. So, like, I was watching the finals. But so if you guys don't know, if you guys aren't Jay Smith listeners, the guy Jason's like, I'm gonna treat the guys, the editors, Alex, Frost, all these guys to some fat sals, and you ordered it through DoorDash, correct?
Yes.
And I don't know how this happened, but apparently
I'm
you
still
have
trying to
both
figure it
Harmon-
out.
Apparently you have Jay and Mike's credit cards on your phone, or is it like the computer? How'd you order it?
Okay. Yeah, let me take you through it.
Yeah.
So we ordered Fat Sal's recently, like as a new thing because they delivered to our area. So we ordered one night on the side computer in the studio. That's like the side producer one, and Mike
The
Harmon bought for
associate.
everybody. Yeah, so it's where there's two of them. There's one for me and one for the associate producers, right? So we both
Yeah.
have our own computers. So I was putting the order in, entered in everything. Harmon let us buy with his card, so we put his card in everything. So he bought for everybody. Shout out to Harmon, really good guy.
It was
He's
even there.
no, this is a time that was before. This is like
Okay.
way like a week or two ago, right? So shout out to
Yes.
Harmon again, dude. He is like the only person that treats his crew as much as he does. Like he is a good dude. He's got a great heart. So he
Mike's
did that. Yeah. And then what was funny is that whole situation that happened, Jason wanted to buy Fat Sal's for everybody. So I went to the same computer, opened up, we put our order in, and then as soon as I was going to the pay option, it just placed the order. And I was like, what do you mean place the order? Like I didn't pay. So how is it placed, right? So like it literally showed like it's confirmed. Here's everything. This is when it'll be there. So I was like, what? So I went backspace and I was like, how did it place already? Well, it instantly just assumed that we were going to the same place, same computer. So it just used the old payment option and just instantly put it in. And I was like, no, we did not want to use that card. So I literally was on the phone calling Fat Sal's like, hey, bro, like that's through DoorDash. We can't do nothing. So I was like, all right. So I called DoorDash and they're like, oh, sorry. Like we can't do nothing. I was like, hold on. What do you mean you can't do nothing? It's your platform. Literally cancel the order, recharge the order to a different card, and then give us the food. This isn't tough. Like just cancel it. Tell the guy outside, whoever he is, to sit there till he gets the okay, charge the new card. And it's just, for some reason, dude, I was asking them like on 5-second notice to cancel like a nuclear bomb code. Like they just couldn't process what I was telling them. Blew my mind. So that's where it came to the fact. And then Jason Smith ran with it the whole show. He loved it. He was like, should Alex pay or should I pay? Alex messed up. Maybe he should pay. I was like,
How many
Jason?
sandwiches did you buy? Or did Harmon
So it
buy?
was one. So it was just for everybody. So it was one for Jason, one for Justin, one for Steve, and one for me. And then just like some fries and stuff like that. So it was just,
Yeah.
but it's pricey, dude. Like Fat Sal's almost like $20 a sandwich now. It's crazy.
Jeez. The DoorDash fees too, they add more to the restaurant.
Dude.
Like I was looking
So
like
much.
side by side, and it was like there's an actual difference.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's
Like,
what
there's
sucks, dude, is they're
this
trying to make a
breakfast burrito
profit.
spot near me, and well, it's a Mexican spot, but like I go there for the breakfast burritos, and
Smart.
you can get one. They're like $8. I have one in the fridge. I'm gonna have after the show. I got it tonight.
Good man.
$8, but on DoorDash it's like $11.
Dude.
I'm like, I got it for carry out, and I was like, why is it so much like
Yep.
more like for delivery?
Yep.
like
It's
they're
because
tacking
they
on for
charge.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they charge. And it's what's crazy is not only are they tacking on top of the overall price for an item, but then they still charge you a service fee. It's like,
Yeah.
dog. And people pay it.
Did
Crazy.
so how did they all end? Did Jay like cash up Harmon? Or
Oh
something?
yeah, Jay was just putting on a whole show. He was just having fun with it. He's like, Alex, don't trip. He's like, I'll pay for it. I'll Venmo Harmon. Don't trip. I was like, I know, but you're still a douche. You know, like for doing this whole shtick.
What was
It
Harmon's
was just
reaction when you like? Did you call him or did you like? Did he not?
So
know?
Jason
Like,
just texted him. Jason just texted him, "What's your Venmo?" And Mike's like, "What? Like, what's going on?" So then eventually, I guess he caught on because he listened in, but he had no idea what the heck was going on. It was comedy.
someone mentioned him on Twitter too. I think that's how he found
Yes.
out.
Yes.
Which what a way you're off doing whatever you're doing. You see, yeah, the boys just spent like $100 at Fat Sal's on my credit card.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, yeah,
So
Mike.
funny.
He probably wasn't even. He probably would not have tripped if like Jay didn't pay it. He seems like that type of guy.
Mike's a good dude.
Hobo or what's he? Whoa, is that what he? Is?
Yeah, it's the yell. He goes, "Oh!" It's one of
Oh!
my favorite ones. Yeah,
Well,
one of my
okay, I got a
favorite
question
ones.
for you about the drop.
Yes.
There was a drop, I believe, a J-Mac, and it was Steve Teichert. What happened to
Yes.
that?
I believe Steve Teichert deleted it. That is my conspiracy. I believe Steve DeSager went into the software next gen himself, found the drop, and deleted it. I don't think he wanted to be my big brother.
We're gonna have to find that and like clip it. That's one of my
It's in the
favorite
veil
drops.
somewhere. Dude, the fact that he actually is Steve Teichert, and Steve was like, "Ooh, it's DeSager," and I was like, "Just Steve, just embrace the fact you're a Teichert now. You're part of the family. Come to Thanksgiving. We'll have a great time. Stop it."
Yeah, and oh, you know what? Speaking of like, obviously Steve works like every Thanksgiving. Besides this year, it was so shocking. I heard Kevin Wire, and I tweeted it was Rob and Martin Weiss or Andy Furman. I tweeted, I'm like, this is the first Thanksgiving I've listened to FSR and not heard Steve DeSager. What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe his wife finally put the hammer down and was like, "Steve, you're staying here for Thanksgiving." He's like, "Okay,
We're having a good turkey dinner, Steve. Come on."
yeah,
just
I guess so." But he's like, "But the updates."
I'm Steve DeSager.
Yeah, I know. I bet.
He always has like the same tone on every update. He's great.
Dude, professional as professional gets.
Oh yeah. We gotta get the Steve. We need to get the Steve Teichert drop back. And it was funny.
I'm gonna do my magic.
Jonas on his overnight show. Remember when you would play Mike North? We don't need to bring Jonas in.
Yes.
So on the overnight show a while ago, Perfett was trying to find it, and this is like before 2 Pros. This is like a couple years ago. Probably, I think it was during quarantine. And,
Yes.
That drop went away, and thanks to me, it's back. So what I had to do is I went, I went on the podcast on Apple Podcasts, and I like found a day Jonas was sitting in, and you were on the board, and it, I just typed in odd couple Jonas Knox, and I went and clipped it and sent it in on Twitter to Jonas and Chris, and I was like, found it.
You're a good man.
Oh yeah, I saved history. We don't need to bring Jonas in.
Dude, that's one of my favorite ones.
I told him like the exact audio mark too. Just like I was like, it's at 3:02 or whatever it was of this edition of the Odd Couple in this hour.
Good man.
Yeah, I saved history right there. History.
Dude, we gotta get you a side job of finding us drops, dude. And we gotta tell FSR to put you on their payroll. So that's great.
So what was it? Oh yeah, that's where I was gonna go. So my kind of question for you is like, how like you don't know much about sports, and I don't know if you care or not, but like what's it like working in sports media, not like liking sports? Like
refreshing.
Put that
it's very refreshing because it doesn't entice me. It doesn't enrage me. If the Lakers don't win, I'm chilling. I still go home and eat a great sandwich or whatever, drink my tea. I'm happy. It's refreshing because it's like you're in a market that can be so enraging, as we were talking about too. And you see how many people's days like revolve around it, where it's like if their team loses, you could feel a piece of them like kind of deplete the fandom. And it's like, oof, that kind of hurts, like, because I'm somebody who loves anime, right? So when I
Yeah.
love anime, if something happens within a show, oh, it can carry with me, but it never ruins my day. Like if a show ends badly, oh, I'll get passionate about it, but it won't ruin my day. So to be in the sports world, I feel like the people around me appreciate it more because they're like, this dude is a breath of fresh air. Like he literally is just loving what he does, digging life, working out, talking anime, and just enjoying himself. So to me, I feel like it's actually ascended me so much quicker because I'm just having fun. Like I'm not trying to be that professional. Like it's not that serious. It's sports, like it's nobody's life or death. We're just having fun. So it makes it more where I think I can actually be better at my job and be more comfortable with these hosts because I'm sure a lot of people who love sports, like if they met Chris Broussard, they're like, oh my God, it's Chris Broussard. I'm like, what's up, dude? What's your name? Like I don't know these
Yeah.
people. So to me, it makes it more fun. So like Colin Cowherd, someone goes works with Colin, they're like, oh my God, TV. I'm like, all right, what do you want me to do? Like, show me the board. Can I do it? Oh yeah, this is great. Yeah, like so that's why I think for myself, it's so cool because I think I'm like that black sheep that's just walking through the studios and kind of makes people aware like, oh, there is more to sports. Like I'm kind of
All right.
refreshing, I think.
So a couple questions here, couple follow-ups
Sure.
to that. So is there anybody else at FSR who doesn't like sports?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say no. I am the only person.
Yeah,
They're all diehard fans.
that is crazy. And then my next question: do you ever like find yourself looking at like games on the TV, or do you tune that out? Or
What's funny is sometimes I'll look up and I'll see like that there's a game going, like say LeBron or whatever, and I'm watching this and I'm like, huh, you guys watch this whole thing? I was like, why don't you just tune into the fourth quarter to see who wins? It's just funny. I've never caught myself like getting excited. The only time, Emmett, and I mean the only time you will ever catch me looking, yearning, checking, or wanting to watch sports is the World Cup. I am such
you're
a
a
fan of
soccer
soccer, dude. It's my family heritage. My whole family from one side is from Macedonia. Like they're a sports country. They love the soccer element. So for
guy.
me, it was a thing where I grew up watching soccer. So I would wake up and watch soccer at 4 a.m., 2 a.m., whenever the World Cup times were. So for me,
That's crazy.
that's a big part of my life. So I love it. But my dad, he's such a sports head, Emmett. He's in like 4 fantasy football leagues. He always had Pittsburgh Steelers on. So like I'd wear the jerseys and try to like kind of be a fan since my dad was. But I was like, yeah, this ain't me. I tried.
Isn't your mom a Patriots fan?
Oh, dude, she is a huge sports fan. Like my mom will call into a show if, like, say Rob and Chris had a guest, and she would probably school them on some stuff. Like it's incredible.
Has she ever called a show before, like a show you worked on?
No, I think she should one day. I think there should
That
be
would
a
be
segment where
hilarious.
it's like Mama Teichert, dude.
Well, I would even like just have her call in as a normal caller and just like
I should
like
do
have
it.
Rob G screen her and be like don't even see if they notice.
I should.
Like
I
if
should.
anyone like picks up on it, because she'd probably like put in a hint, right? Like, oh, Alex, something.
Oh, dude, for sure. I have no doubt. And she's such a football fan during football season. I think I'll surprise him for you. I'll let you know if she does it.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be good radio. I wonder if anyone noticed.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, it would all work. Now, a couple more questions here. We
Sure.
we gotta get out of here soon. It's getting late. But
yes, thank you for having me too, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. What made you start Shallow Oceans?
Great question.
Which you can hear on wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah, no. So that was an evolution about. I started at the academy I was doing when I was doing the radio and broadcasting stuff. When I met Nick, they had us assignment where we had to start doing something. So we either had to do like the on-air, like a show, like we had to do an on-air show that was an hour or something. And I thought to myself, podcasting wasn't even a thing at this time. Because keep in mind, this is like almost 8-9 years ago. And podcasting really wasn't that big at that time. So I thought to myself, why don't I do something where I start talking? And I've always found myself being very engaged with the world around me and my interesting concepts of how I see the world. So the whole concept of what Shallow Ocean started as was just an interview process, having people come on, talking about life, pubbing them. So I had like one of my friends, his name's D. Wayne. He's like an artist. He would do like some musical stuff. I'd bring them on, promote them, and talk about the world and themselves. And then it slowly evolved more into where it was myself venting in a sense of talking about the world. So what I would do and what it is now, Emmett, is basically I'll sit down, I'll pick a topic, I will have nothing prepared, I will write nothing down, I will think nothing of it, until I sit down and press record and see where my mind goes. And it's one of the most fascinating things, Emmett, because then I'll go back and listen to it when I edit it real quick to put like an intro, outro, and stuff. And I listen to myself and I'm like, man, that's incredible that I actually went on that riff. It's so
it's like
cool.
a natural talent. Yeah.
Yes. I don't want to have anything prepared. I want to see where my mind goes and how well I carry through a conversation. And I love it, man. It's been so fun because I've actually had. Yes. And see, what's crazy, Emmett, is I've had actually multiple people that I've met through the podcast or through life that's listened to it. And they've told me about how much the show has helped them. And so that's why I love the show so much.
You're very like the way you like present yourself is very positive and like very very motivating. And
thank you.
It can rub, like you're always bringing like, whether it's on FSR or you know, your work over on TikTok or your podcast or your, when you do like the Pokemon streams and all that, you always bring good vibes. Like if you're in a down mood, like you're just very happy and it's infectious. I mean,
it has
everybody,
to be.
Yeah, exactly. Like you like you don't care about sports, but everyone still like loves you, and all the listeners are like, oh, the great DJ Teichert,
Yeah, right.
Chris Broussard giving you crap for taking all this time off to go do cowherd or whatever.
Dude, they pull me. I'm not trying to. Yeah, I'm not trying to go. They pull me. But no, Emma, you said it perfectly because the world is getting too negative now. So I'm somebody that's trying to embrace the good side, and I want to make sure people know that one, they're valued. Two, they're loved because I have unconditional for everybody. I want nothing in return. And three, why else are we here if it's not to be better than we were, right? So that's what I do. I challenge myself. And in a sense, in doing that, I feel like it subconsciously makes other people challenge themselves. And like you said, Emmett, now I've got 3 dudes going to the gym just because of me doing me. I did some good at FSR.
Oh, yeah. You got Ethan Miller. You got Lee. You got
even
Shay on
man.
that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Who's your next person to try and get into it? Do you have another one you want to try and put on? Or?
Who can I try to get? I'm trying to get Patrick on it next because Patrick, Mr. Star.
I haven't had him on the show. I know who he is. He's great.
You should get him on.
I tried, and then something happened with me one day, and then something happened with him the next time we rescheduled it. So it's just like we're playing like reschedule tag, like something come up tag. It's like phone tag for podcasts.
Yes. Well, I would say, Emmett, don't give up. Patrick is a huge sports fan, and also he has a big heart, dude. Like he is such a teddy bear. I'm trying to get him into the gym because I'm trying to get him more comfortable with self. So I was like, Patrick, you should join us. And he actually just recently got like a little bit of like his sinus thing. So he wasn't able to, but he was going to come with me and Shay one time. Or excuse me, me, Shay, and Ethan. So I'm excited to see if he does. He would be my next victim, you could say.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I mean, it's funny. I mean, look how confident you got Ethan. You were saying earlier,
dude. Unreal. He already has Philadelphia blood in him, Emmett. He doesn't need to be buff now. The guy will never shut up. We can't do it.
Okay, it's
I put him in his Philadelphia. He's like, hey,
I can hear him saying it.
Dude, I'm telling you. Hey, dude, what time we meet now? 1:30? Okay, dude, I need a chest bump. Come on.
He's not as Philly as Gargano. Gargano's really Philly. Like Gargano's like the definition of Philly.
Oh, dude, he lives in Philly still. Ethan's a little bit more Cali based now. He's a little more Cali flared, He's a little softer now.
Got that stand-up comedy in him too.
Oh yeah, the Cali dudes, bro. They get a little soft. So he's a little softer now. He went home and he said, like, people in Philly are like, dude, you're soft. It was really funny. Yeah. Well, Philly's hard, man.
Oh yeah, I mean,
they love their culture, man. Yeah, they're tough. Sure. Yeah, they're tough, man. They're tough.
Yeah, Alex, man, it's anything else you want to get into real quick before we get out here?
Let's see. Okay, so I would like to leave your listeners and followers with this because I went on this rant when you disconnected because I didn't know if I was supposed to keep talking or not, so I did. And
I don't even know if it got captured.
Oh, who knows? Who knows? Maybe you'll find out and be a pleasant surprise. Yeah. I'll just tell you this, Emmett. One of the most inspiring things you can do as a person is have a fandom, and it can drive you, and as I said, have purpose, motivate you. But remember, fandom is supposed to be there as an expression of enjoyment, not to take you over, not to make you upset, not to piss you off, because at the end of the day, what is sports truly, Emmett? It's a child's game we all love and played, and we get to watch people, adults, athletes at the pinnacle of their physique and careers and lifespans playing it at a high level, right? We still got to remember, though, it's innocence and it's fun and it's something we all enjoy. Don't let it enrage you. Don't let it take your life away. Who cares if the other team beats you? Don't like have this slanderous thing where I'll hear people like, oh, I hate that team. Why? It's just a team. Like, don't be so enraged to where it gets you distraught. If anything emotionally enrages you, Emmett, especially on a sports setting, you got to take a step back and breathe and ask, why am I this upset? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and Chris Perfett, he said the same thing too. He's a Lions guy, so he's like used to like torture from his team. So he said I can't be emotional about this, or I'd be like, it just wouldn't be good.
Right. Because again, like if you get the shtick like Jason Smith and the Jets thing, it's a shtick. He gets it. He loves it. But to make it like self-deprecating and to let it just take away from you, it's not doing its purpose. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a good time. So if it gets you to like that level, take a step back and breathe and be like, maybe I got to relook at my fandom here. That's all.
It's okay to feel happy too. Like when
sure.
Like, my Seahawks win the Super Bowl.
Dude,
to be
get excited.
That's fandom.
No, look, because Emmett, I'm the same way with anime. Trust me, dude. I live and die with sports and entertainment and creativity, bro. Some of the best shows I've seen end horribly, and it gets me enraged. But it's not gonna change me, So that's where it's at.
Anything else you got, or are we gonna call it?
Dude, make sure you follow Mr. Emmett Douglas. Give Blindside Sports some love. This guy's amazing. I appreciate him having me on, even when I'm not a sports fan. It was a pleasure being on, dude. Thank you so much.
Okay, I do like professional sports and like college over here, but like workout's a sport.
Yes, you're right.
I mean, it's a different angle to it. We put our own twist on it. There you go.
Yes,
authenticity, right then and there.
Well done. See, look at you, learned something today. I mean, I love it.
Oh yeah, Alex Teichert, thank you for stopping by, man. So sorry to keep you for a while. Screw the Gremlins. Screw them.
Don't worry, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
You got a cool opportunity? You on Cowherd? You doing any of that, or you done with that?
So thankfully, no. I hope not for a while because I hate doing that morning switch from this night shift. A lot of new stuff coming in the anime world and especially Shallow Ocean. So keep your eyes open. A lot of stuff in the works.
Where can everybody find you on like socials and all that for the
anywhere
podcast?
And everywhere? All you have to do is search up easily Anime Senpai Podcast or Shallow Oceans Podcast, and you can find me on every social. And also on anywhere you can stream podcasts and on YouTube, everywhere, man.
There you go. And really quickly before I get out of here too.
Yes.
Plant-based hot takes. When's that coming?
Oh, so the drop is not officially next month. So just to let you know, next month is when it's coming out. And this is what's going to be fun, Emmett. I'm going to make Chris and Rob debate me on things, even though I know they don't agree with it. That's how fun it's going to be. They're going to have to take the opposite side on anything, whether it's sports, life, anything. So I'm going to do like, for an example, I'll give you a taste here. I'll say with Rob Parker, I know I'm against him. I'm going to tell him that wings, it's got to be bone in, no boneless, meaning Rob's going to have to take the boneless side. You know how fun of a debate that's going to be? We're going to see how good they are. Just be ready, dude.
This is going to be great. Make sure to, follow the Odd Couple. I'm sure, or you'll talk about it, Rob G's always good at promoting. So go
absolutely
type in the Odd Couple with Bruce Hard and Rob Parker wherever you get your podcasts there.
Yes.
4 to 7 Pacific, 7 to 10 Eastern. Alex is on the board 4 to 11 Pacific every Monday through Friday. Sometimes weekends too.
Yeah, like this weekend Saturday.
All right, man. You're in for the great Perfett, aren't you? Are you doing something?
They put the bat signal up, so I will answer the call.
There you go. The great Alex Teichert stopping by. Go check his stuff out. Hey, man, I really appreciate it. Hopefully, I can find that first part of our conversation because there's some good stuff there. But I think we covered everything like pretty well for having the Gremlins take away half our show. Thank you.
I agree, man. Thank you so much for tonight. I had a great time.
No problem, man. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to leave a like and all of that. Subscribe to the YouTube, turn on the notifications, and go check out Alex's work. Like I said, go follow my socials at EmmettNoti04 on Twitter, at Blindside_sports. And you can, that's Instagram and TikTok, by the way, for Blindside_sports. So this YouTube's Blindside Sports. So if you want to drop a sub, you can go do that. Now let's end the stream.
No worries. And as you said, drop, I'm going to go drop a low because I had to use the restroom. Much love, man. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, stay in touch.
For sure, man. Have a good night.